Hello everyone, and in today's video we're going to talk about the symptoms to look out for in hypothyroidism, and I'm also going to talk about my specific symptoms that I still experience on a daily basis. So let's start off with going through the general symptoms that could affect anyone, whether it be just a few of them or all of them. It really varies from person to person, and it is also on different levels as well. So obviously the symptoms are going to be a lot heavier prior to being medicated and sorting out your levels, but a lot of my symptoms kind of lightened, but I still experience a lot of them on a daily basis. So let's begin. So the biggest one, or one of the main ones, is tiredness and fatigue. I was hit like a ton of bricks with this one. Next we have sensitive to the cold. Yep, this was definitely another one for me. It was not fun, and I still deal with this one as well. We've got weight gain. This one I didn't get hit with at all. I've always had really fast metabolism. It's always been really difficult for me to gain weight. So when I was in the process of being diagnosed with this, every new doctor or nurse that I would go to and explain that I had hypothyroidism, they'd always do a double take because I'm tiny. And they'd be like, "Are you sure it's not hyperthyroidism?" Like, nope, it's hypo. I have an underactive thyroid. Like, okay. Because usually one of the most common symptoms is weight gain, but not for me. So it was very funny telling a new doctor or nurse, and then they do a double take, and it's like, nope, it's definitely hypothyroidism. And then they check my chart and stuff. It's funny. Another one is constipation. You can apparently get hit with constipation. Cannot remember if I got hit with that one. Probably too much information, but I'm pretty regular, so I don't have a problem with that. Depression and anxiety. I've always had anxiety my entire life, and I did get hit with heavy depression prior to medication. I do still deal with bouts of depression, but it's not as bad, which I'm very grateful for. So it's a lot more manageable for me. But I do still get hit with some depression. Slow movements and thoughts. Typically, it was very difficult for me to think and process things, but that was mainly because I was so tired. So obviously that has a factor, and then that would hinder you. But slow movements, maybe generally not a fast moving person anyway. So I'm not too sure what that means exactly. Does that mean like literally I have to move slower, or is it just I can't move as fast? So maybe not sure for me on that one, but that is another thing. We've got muscle aches and pains. Yep, and I still get hit with this as well. Especially if I attempt to do any sort of heavy lifting or maybe moving things around, it takes me a while to recover from it. So it's like my whole body was aching and in pain. A little bit better, but I still get hit with a lot of aches and pains sometimes. Weakness. Yes, that one was a lot. And I'm still pretty weak, unfortunately. So an example straight off the bat is when I lift the kettle. If it's too full, I shake. So I have to be very quick with the kettle, or I have to like lay it down on the kitchen sink while I'm filling it up. So yeah, I can't do heavy lifting and stuff because it will just give me pain, and I'll have to take like a day or so to recover. So I have to plan what I do depending on how my body's feeling. Another one is muscle cramps. I don't remember cramping a lot, so I guess this one didn't affect me that much. But I guess if you get a lot of muscle cramps, that might be another sign. Dry skin. I do still deal with this. I have to make sure I properly moisturize my skin, so I'm pretty much every day I am moisturizing, because even if I just wash my hands will go so dry, so I have to moisturize. And it has to be like fragrance free, very subtle moisturizers as well. Brittle hair and nails. So my hair does fall out quite a bit, and it did fall out a lot prior to getting medication as well. My nails have never really been an issue, but I've definitely had a lot of hair falling out. Another one is loss of sex drive, but I mean, that's to be expected if you're fatigued and constantly tired. I remember prior to my diagnosis, I was sleeping for 12 hours every single day and falling asleep in my chair in the middle of the day. That wasn't on my mind. I just wanted to sleep. So that completely understandable. That one is a very um common symptom as well. Well, you can also get pain, numbness, and tingling in hands and fingers. That one I've never got hit with. I only get like pain, numbness if I've leant on my arm funny. So that one wasn't really a thing for me. But another one to look out for: irregular periods or heavy periods. Ever since I got my first period, they've always been really irregular and heavy anyway, so that was kind of my normal. I think I started my periods when I was 14, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was 20, so like irregular periods were just the normal for me. So that is a list of most of the symptoms that could lead to hypothyroidism that you need to look out for. So quite a few of these I do still experience. Let's see. So tiredness and fatigue, that can definitely go like this. Depends on what I've done. Depends on the day, etc. Sensitivity to the cold never went away. I cannot handle cold temperatures. Like right now, Cinder has opened the door and I can feel the cold coming in from the hallway, and it's horrible because I've just spent time warming up my room. But cold is pain for me. So if it's too cold, I can't do anything. I can't move my hands. I need to bundle up. I need to get warm. I cannot do things when I am cold because it just causes me pain, and my muscles get really stiff and I can't move properly. So that one's not good. I did mention before that I get bouts of depression, but it's not constant, and it's not as bad, but I still do deal with depression. I do get a lot of brain fog, but that's typically on my really bad fatigue days when like my whole body's aching, I'm really tired, and I'm like struggling to focus on stuff. So that's kind of works with the other things, I guess. Muscle aches and pains, yep, especially if I've done too much, like I've done heavy lifting or I've just tried to be too active, and then I'm paying the price for it the next day, really. So whenever I know I'm going to be doing a lot, I have to make sure I have a rest day so that I can recover. Dry skin, like I said, moisturize. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. My hair still falls out a little bit, not as bad though. My periods are still irregular and heavy, so I can't avoid that, I'm afraid. But I do really struggle with fatigue because fatigue is accompanied by a lot of other things like brain fog, etc., like I said. And I feel like I can't do anything on those days. I literally just have to like stop and rest my body. Because if I try and do anything more, I'll just be more fatigued, more achy, more in pain, so there's just no point. And of course, like I said before, the sensitivity to the cold can be really hard to manage because I could be in like fluffy pair of socks, I can be in my thick joggers, my jumper, and I'll put on my big fluffy hoodie, and like that might still not even be enough to warm me up. Like, and I can't really do much when I'm wearing a lot of fluffy stuff either, so I kind of have to just bundle up and stay in a little bundle in my chair to try and keep warm. Um, so yeah, the winter months are never fun for me, and I do not like leaving the house when I'm cold. It is horrible. So I try and stay inside as much as I can during the winter. But there we have it. That is the symptoms that you need to look out for that could be hypothyroidism. Um, but if you are concerned, if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, go to a doctor, and it's tested by just a simple blood test. So it's no invasive tests or anything like that. It's just a blood test, and it's very easy to pinpoint. And generally, they'll do a whole bunch of tests. Like for me, they did thyroid, B12, and like all the deficiencies and stuff like that, just to see everything and what you're lacking and stuff. So it's a very easy test. So if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, definitely go get a blood test done. For me, it was getting to the point of sleeping for 12 hours every single day. Literally couldn't get myself out of bed until I slept for 12 hours. And then, even then, I'd still fall asleep in my desk chair in the middle of that. Like, in the middle of being awake anyway. So, if you're at that point, blood test, blood test, blood test. And it was just, nothing was fun for me anymore. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't care about anything. Like, it's just, it was affecting my mood as well. You know, I stopped being happy, which I didn't like as well. So, yeah. It was a very difficult time for me. But I'm glad I had the support system to get through it. My parents were great, and I'm forever grateful for that. But I'm here now. I'm on medication for the rest of my life. I've got some deficiencies to manage, but yeah, it's still rough. It's still a challenge every single day that is never going to get better, but I just have to listen to my body. That is the most important thing to me, is listening to my body and giving myself what I need, especially time to rest. Because the more I pushed myself, the worse it got. The more time I'd need to recover. So it's just not worth it. So lots of rest when needed. But yeah. So that's it for today. I hope this video has helped you, maybe, in some way. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.